We continue our reading of Lest We Forget, a daily devotional by author George R. Knight. Today's reading, August 8. New Issues, Part 3. As cold water to a thirsty soul, so is good news. Proverbs 25:25. By 1886, the sides in the oncoming Adventist theological struggle were quite visible. On one hand was G.I. Butler, the General Conference president, and Uriah Smith, secretary of the General Conference. On the other were the two upstart editors from the West, A.T. Jones and E.J. Wagner. It appears that the only leading female participant in the conflict sought to remain neutral, so that she might work with both sides. But by early 1887, Ellen White began to conclude not only that the younger men were being wrongly treated in an unequal struggle, but that they had something to teach that the Seventh-day Adventist Church desperately needed to hear. Thus, by April 1887, she had dedicated herself to making sure that Jones and Wagner would get a hearing at the 1888 General Conference session. In the end, it would be Ellen White who would come out the clearest on the real significance of Jones and Wagner's 1888 message. Her major theme would center on a reinterpretation of part of Revelation 14:12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. That passage is the central text in Adventist history. It contains the last message God would give to the world before the second advent, which is pictured as taking place in verses 14 to 20. The interesting thing is that both sides in the Advent struggle surrounding 1888 would focus on Revelation 14:12, but they would emphasize different parts of the verse. The traditionalists would uplift the commandments of God, while the reformers stressed the faith of Jesus. Out of the Minneapolis meetings would flow a new interpretation of Revelation 14:12, one that would forever change the shape of Adventist theology. Ellen White would suffer for her support of Jones and Wagner. In December 1888, she would look back at the recently closed General Conference session and declare, "My testimony was ignored, and never in my life was I treated as at that conference." Letter 7, 1888. Some of us think that in the good old days everything went well in the church. Not so. As then, so today. Good people get upset with each other and need to pray to God for forgiveness. This concludes our reading today of Lest We Forget.